Hello there, welcome to CNR Extra here on Citi TV, coming to you live from our studios at number 5, Ola Hansen Lane, Tesano, Accra. My name is Philip Latte. Coming up. Battle unfolds in Asante Akim NPP primaries as Ghana Post MD buys Oseko for known as Obo makes a comeback.
I think his time is up. It's time for a new vision. It's time for change. It's time for a war.
I will win. I will win. That one, no two ways about it.
Past 3 years, I've been supporting the citizens in the constituency when it comes to improving the lives of the people.
Ghanaian entrepreneur Nana Kwame Bediako revealed as leader of the New Force movement.
Then I take this moment to sacrifice myself, to unveil myself, because I have much respect for these great leaders beside me. It would have taken my own time to tell you that I am.
NDC criticizes Akufo-Addo's reaction to Mahama's non-concession.
The dastardly murder of 8 Ghanaians to make Akufo-Addo president in 2020 must not be repeated in 2024.
And later on CNR Extra, former EC boss Dr. Afare-Gyan advocates 1992 Constitution review for democratic advancement.
In my view, with about half of ministers, plus some of the deputy ministers drawn from parliament, the legislature cannot effectively chair the executive.
Once again, you're welcome to CNR Extra here on Citi TV. It's a new year, 2024. Many thanks for joining us. You can join us with your thoughts, submissions, and comment via our WhatsApp line, 0204447033. We're also streaming live on Facebook. You can join us there on Citi TV. Nana Tufo Boateng, you're welcome to the show. I'm happy we are back.
Yeah, thank you very much, Philip. Happy to be here as well. And of course, Happy New Year to you and our cherished viewers out there.
How's your Christmas?
Quite engaging, quite engaging. You know, I mean, on the side, we MC events, so I mean, quite
You were
engaging.
doing a lot of things.
Busy period. I mean, shuffling between work and the various events. I mean, yeah, but then we give thanks to God, seeing us through a year, bringing us into a new year. Of course, an interesting year
Which is going to be very
an election
busy.
year,
Yes,
going to be
very
extra busy. But we look forward to it. Exciting times ahead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we bring you a number of election-related stories here on Citi FM and Citi TV, especially on CNR Extra here, as we'll be delving into these issues. But make sure that you are part of us because it's conversational, and you share your thoughts, submissions, and comments. We can look at what is happening during this election year. First off, let's start with the New Force. The leader behind the New Force has been revealed. Let's bring you that in that insert.
Thank you for your time tonight. Let's now settle into the details of our stories. The mysterious figure known as Man in the Mask, showcased on billboards nationwide, has been revealed to be Nana Kwame Bediako, the Ghanaian entrepreneur and founder of the New Africa Foundation. Dismissing political aspirations, he emphasized his dedication to Africa's development, focusing on humanity and the continent's vast resources. Citi News' Christopher Kevin Asima reports on the unveiling event in Accra. In this report, read by Hansen Ajiman.
The New Force movement's arrival was marked by grand billboards promising a new era of leadership. In December of the previous year, the Belgian spokesperson for the New Force, Shalima Abusi, was deported by the Ghanaian government over allegations of fraudulent misrepresentation in obtaining her student residence permit. On January 7, the Convention 2024, organized by the New Africa Foundation and set to host prominent speakers like Professor P.L.O. Lumumba and Nigeria's Peter Obi, was abruptly cancelled. After this cancellation, Nana Kwame Bediako was disclosed as the leader of the New Force movement and the Man in the Mask. Expressing his vision for a government-independent middle-income economy, he positioned himself as a new advocate for Ghana and Africa's reconstruction. He emphasizes the need for education, societal change, and upliftment of children.
If you are about to find out about this man in the mask, because I never spoke a word, you were looking for me. I didn't tell you whether I am into politics, whether I am an evangelist, whether I am a conventionist or a revolutionist. After this day, you will have to wait for me to share my policies and my visions with you. And if I'm the reason why the country or the government is not happy about these great voices coming to educate not only Ghana, but also Africa, then I take this moment to sacrifice myself, to unveil myself, because I have much respect for these great leaders beside me. It would have taken my own time to tell you that I am. But for this very moment, I am sacrificing myself to let you know that I'm that man. But I'm that man with a good purpose, with a great vision. I have a plan and I have a vision for this nation.
The New Africa Foundation expressed deep disappointment at the sudden event cancellation, criticizing the government's decision as the event had received approval in November 2023. Spokesperson for the foundation, Monique Mitchell, highlighted the shock and dismay caused to dignitaries and special guests who had traveled from around the world.
All protocols were followed. We obtained a permit to have this event back in November of 2023. To everyone in attendance, we are with you. We are so sorry that you couldn't partake in this event. We had so many special surprises, so many giveaways planned for you, but this will not be the last time you'll be hearing from us. We are so sorry that you waited outside, but we were with you in spirit.
A shadow speaker at the convention 2024, Dr. Arikana clarified that speaker invitations focused on entrepreneurship, not political endorsements. She stressed the event's primary goal of encouraging African youth and fostering entrepreneurship continent-wide.
I never heard the conversation about him being a millionaire. I never had a conversation about him having political ambitions. The time that I've spent with him has been more to do with entrepreneurship and the possibilities. So for those who are saying we are here to support him further his political ambitions, that is a damn lie. Certainly, from my interactions with him.
So I'm sure that last year, that is 2023, mid part of the year, getting to the latter part of the year, we saw a number of billboards being erected at various places of the country with the new force on it. Billboards were asking questions, who is behind this mask and all that. And not long ago, the leader of this particular force has revealed himself that he is the one. That is Nana Kwame Bediako, also known as Cheddar in some circles. And he has stated a number of things. I think a convention or an event that should have been done on Sunday with some speakers from across the continent came in to talk about issues and all that, but that particular event was cancelled, and that led to him to come out and say that, fine, so I'm the leader of this new force movement, and these are my visions or whatever I want to bring on board, which is yet to really state all of them or to various Ghanaians. But there's been reactions to this particular issue as to why the government or why there was a cancellation of that particular events that should have been held on Sunday, and exactly what this new force movement will do, changing the political space in this particular country.
Well, I mean, it is expected that in a country that runs a democracy as we do, political organizations or groupings such as the New Force movement would come up. And then also it is expected that government that is looking to break the eighth, looking to do what has not been done in this country, to rule for 8 years and to go on to a third term and to rule for 12 years, such a government will be interested in knowing the people behind some of these groupings, organizations when they spring up. And so, not so surprising when the spokesperson, Shalima Abusi, was picked up. However, worrying was the fact that she was held beyond the stipulated 48 hours. But of course, eventually, her residency has been denied and she's been deported out of the country. The new force, when the billboard sprang up, typical of Nana Bediakum, there were concerns. I mean, people could point to him as the face behind the mask. However, we had to give him the benefit of the doubt and wait on him to officially announce that he actually is.
Which he actually said that if not for the fact that the event that was to bring in some individuals from across the continent to speak, if not for the fact that it was cancelled, he wouldn't have come out to even reveal himself as the leader, but he would have done that in his own time.
Yeah, but you see, if you're serious about winning political power in this country, the earlier, the better for you. You understand? Well, I'm not no expert, but I don't know what the window for registration and for participation in a general election is. But we are already in the election year. I don't know what the guidelines of the Electoral Commission say. Whether he has registered officially as a political party to be able to contest, or he is yet to do so. And if the time left allows him a window of opportunity to do so, we do not know. You get it? So this is one argument that is there. And of course, even though he has revealed that he is the face behind the mask, really he has not told us exactly what he is looking to do. Whether he is going to contest the presidential race or not, he has not said. He's always putting out leader. I mean, you know his other name, right? Freedom Jacob Caesar.
Yeah, Freedom.
Whether he's the only Pan-Africanist in the country or not, we do not know. But you see, I appreciate him so much for the line he's towing. One thing that works in politics a lot these days is the branding and the packaging aspect of it. You get it? And, I mean, Nana Bediakum.
But maybe he's trying to put a lot of people in suspense, and we should rather be thinking of what is he bringing on board. He's trying to keep us in suspense and all that. Philip, people will now go in more to listen to his policies and what he has for the country. This is
not a Nigerian movie. We are not in Nollywood. The suspense is enough. Hit the ground running. Let us know what the alternative policies you have are, so that if we are going to buy in, we buy in early. You don't treat all of us as people who will take a decision at the 9th hour. You get it? Start educating us on. You've seen John Dramani Mahama. He has been president before. He's now flag bearer of the NDC. He hit the ground running when? How many policies has he announced so far? Now all that is left for him to do is to educate us on the policies, to get our buy-in. You understand? You have just declared or announced that you are the face behind the mask. But really, what are you bringing?
Let's see how these things unfold. The new force leader has been unveiled, and that there are questions to be answered. I'm sure that in the coming days, he would outline his policies and whatever he has for Ghanaians, so that we will know what best to expect from him ahead of this 2024 election. Still on election-related issues, let's move away from the new force and go to the New Patriotic Party and the battle unfolding in the Asante Akim NPP primaries as the Ghana Post MD, that is Bai Soseko, known as Obo, has made a comeback.
NPP politics now, and after his 2020 NPP primaries defeat, former Musiga president and managing director of Ghana Post Company Limited, Bice Osaikufo, known as Obo, is making a comeback. The competition, however, won't be easy as the incumbent Member of Parliament, Kweku Asante Boateng, and Eric Amofa, his two contenders, expressed confidence in their victory for the upcoming NPP primaries. Citi News' Middle Belt Bureau Chief Edward Opongmafo sheds light on the Asante Akim South NPP parliamentary primaries in the following report.
The previous NPP primaries in the Ashanti region saw intense competition. By Soseko 4 and 3 others aimed to unseat Kweku Asante Boateng, seeking a third term. Initially celebrating victory, Obo's supporters learned later that the incumbent had secured 360 votes, surpassing Obo's 296 votes, with the other 3 securing 32, 9, and 8 votes respectively. 3 contenders from the previous contest are once again in the fray. Incumbent Kwekwa Santibuaten, Vice Osekufo Obuo, and Eric Amufa. Vice Osekufo Obuo tells Citi News he's returning with more strength.
I think the last time it was a miscommunication. What happened was it was 46 electoral areas. As at the time they finished 45 electoral areas, I was leading. And so everybody around felt that, I mean, we are 46 and at 45, Obuo is leading. And so Obuo has won. But of course, when the last electoral area, which had a lot of votes, came, the MP had beaten me in that electoral area. That's how come it became as if Obuo had won, and later they said Obuo didn't win. But this year, all the things that we missed out, that we couldn't do last year, we are doing them this time around, and we are very focused and clear in our mind that the delegates of Asante Achim South have given our MP, Member of Parliament, every respect he needs. I mean, honoring him with representation in Parliament for 3 terms is not a joke. No Member of Parliament in the constituency have even gone beyond 8 years. He has done 12 years. We think his time is up. It's time for a new vision. It's time for change. It's time for Obuo. Number 2.
Obuo outlines his vision for the constituency.
The constituency is a constituency that has missed people. Majority are farmers, and so we are looking at farming interventions, food processing. These are major projects we are battling, we are pushing for. Another key area in the field of education is the constituency it cannot boast of any tertiary institution. And so one of the major plans that we have put on the drawing board is how we can draw education, the authorities of education, to bring either a teacher training, a nursing training, or a university into the constituency. These are key critical things to the development of the constituency. Another major problem in the constituency is jobs. There are several young people in the constituency who don't have jobs. And we have planned and programmed certain skills training initiatives so that we can create entrepreneurs in the constituency. Our vision is to create 10,000 entrepreneurs every year in the constituency.
Incumbent MP Kwekwa Santibuaten remains unfazed, relying on his track record.
I will win. I will win. That one, no 2 ways about it. The majorities rose about 120 kilometers. And even some constituencies cannot boast of, let's say, 5 kilometers or a kilometer of tarred road. So if we've been able to do 120 kilometers within this space of time, it's a massive achievement under my leadership. Employment, the little that we can do in areas of teaching and under the health sector and agri, some going to cocoa board and other areas. We've done a lot, and the security services.
He aims to use his next step to consolidate the previous gains, as he tells Citi News.
My vision is to consolidate the gains that we've achieved. We'll be able to achieve under the leadership of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. We've done a lot of developmental projects, but that notwithstanding, we still have some uncompleted projects in the area of roads, school projects, chip compounds and other things. So we want to use our next term to consolidate the gains by completing all these projects.
Considered the underdog, Eric Amufa believes his ongoing works in the constituency make him a strong contender.
When it comes to what I'm doing a lot. If you mention Eric Amufa in Asante Achim South, the key thing that comes in is education. For the past 3 years, I've been supporting the citizens in the constituency when it comes to improving the lives of the people and also improving education. Recently, I launched Education Fund, and Eric Amufa, I put a seed money of 100,000 Ghana cedis to support needy children in the constituency. In addition to this, last 3 months, Eric Amufa supplied 5,000 exercise books to all secondary schools in my constituency. When it comes to the party, everything the party has been doing, Eric Amufa has been present. When we were doing the Electoral Commission registration, I was there supporting the party, the full soldiers. When we were doing the assemblyman election, Eric Kamofa was there going rounds to make sure I'm visible in the constituency.
He highlights his plans if given the chance to represent the constituents in Parliament.
There's a lot of vision I have. That is to help improve education in my constituency. Our health sector in the constituency is lacking behind. As we speak, one district hospital we don't have the facilities required to make sure the people there can have a good care or good health access. Our road network also needs to be improved. Farming is one of the key activities or economic activity we do in the constituency. And Eric Kamofa is looking at bringing commercial farming, where we will group the youth into farming. We will make sure the youth are trained in a specific farming activity so that they can also do it and get some money to empower them to be able to also transform other lives and also within their family.
The Asante Achim South MPP primary is poised for a fierce contest once again, making it an election to watch.
So all geared up for the January 27 parliamentary primaries for constituencies with sitting MPs for the New Patriotic Party. And in that particular constituency, that is the Asante Achim South constituency, the NP there is facing Obo, who went into the race with him in the year 2020, but the MP was able to defeat him. But this time round, Obo and other two are saying that, well, they would be able to defeat the MP. And Obo himself is also saying that this is a time for him to come on board because the MP has been there for some time and they've not seen any developmental project. But we are to expect these things, like you said earlier. This year is an election year, and these comments or promises from candidates, aspirants, will certainly be on our airwaves.
By Sosai Kufuor, also known as Obo. He's currently the MD of Ghana Post.
Yes.
You understand? But politics will teach you that election is not a popularity contest. You get it?
You think it doesn't play a role?
It does to an extent. That's why we've seen some populist tactics by certain figures within the political space. But you see, when you're going into a parliamentary primary, you are dealing with delegates of the party.
Like Sir John said, delegates.
Exactly, who know the ins and the outs. They know who, when they push, it will be to their benefit. You get it? It is for that reason that the MP has been what? He's been on the seat for how long?
12 years.
12 years.
Yes.
So that's what, 3 terms?
3 terms, yes.
Obo contested him last
2020.
2020.
Yes.
And he lost. We're yet to establish the margins by which he lost. And if I were him, you by this time you should have contracted a consultant who would have run a number of surveys for you. That will give you an indication of where you stand. You see, the nature of the politics today is not like that of before. Politics now is scientific. So you need to study. It's like going into a space to sell a product. You need to study and know the market you are presenting the product to. It may be the best of products, but not suitable for the current market you are in. You get it? Well, but we wish them well. I mean, like I said, this year is going to be so interesting. It's not going to be the last we are seeing. You know, interesting names are going to come up.
So let's go to Bimbala. The parliamentary race in Bimbala remains uncertain as only aspirant. The only aspirant intending to contest the incumbent is yet to sign his incomplete nomination form. So let's bring you that inset.
Still with the NPP parliamentary primaries, the race in Bimbala in the northern region remains uncertain as the only aspirant intending to contest the incumbent, Alhaji Ahmed Zaruk, is yet to sign his incomplete nomination forms as directed by the vetting committee. The vetting committee had, upon checks, instructed him to complete the signing of the forms in Bimbala constituency to facilitate the process. Despite regional executives bringing the forms to the constituency office on Sunday, Alhaji Zaruk failed to show up. There are more details in the following report.
The NPP situation in Bimbala's constituency is unclear, with an unknown number of aspirants for the primaries. While other constituencies completed vetting and balloting, Bimbala remains unsure of its aspirants count. 2 contenders emerged, the incumbent MP and a 40-year-old businessman. Initially missing from the aspirant list, Alhaji Ahmed Nuhu Zaruk's absence led to his supporters protesting and vandalizing the constituency party office. General Secretary Justin Kodia intervened, inviting Zaruk for vetting, where he admitted to not signing Form B. On Sunday, Regional Second Vice Chairman and executives brought the forms to the constituency office. However, a delay occurred as Zaruk didn't arrive early, prompting Northern Regional Second Vice Chairman Alhaji Abdul Rahman to advise unity among party delegates.
The regional secretary called him and he told the regional secretary categorically that he will not be able to make it. He won't come. We've been here since 9 o'clock and we are still here, maybe waiting to see if he can come. But he's not here yet. And I believe that I don't think he will blame anybody now. He will have to blame himself. We are here to make sure that we do the right thing. And we are here. He's not here. So all I have to say is that I'm sending a greetings to our electoral coordinators, our police station executives, and all our party supporters in Bimbida constituency to let them know that we are united. We are united, and we will continue to be united forever. We are here purposely because of peace and unity. But he's demonstrating that. I don't think he wants that. But we are not to say that. We are just here to make sure that the right thing is done.
Incumbent MP Dominic Nitiwo expressed confidence in defeating Zaruk by over 90%, daring him to sign and insinuating motives for causing trouble.
This is the form that they give us. You cannot tear open that form. Nobody can tear that form. This is the form they give us. You can't tear it. This is how they give it. It's not ordinary paper. It is not ordinary paper where you can tear and open it. No. MPP designed their form like this. You come to Bimbla Town, some people don't have water, their boreholes are spoiled. That is the problem I have. It's not Zaruk. When I cannot sleep, it's because of the problems of my people. To fix the Salaka road, make sure all the things that we have, our people lack, they also get. It's not Zaruk. Maybe I am his problem, but me, he's not my problem. He is sitting there and thinking about need to wait 70 years, that's his problem. Me, my problem is how to help the black people. That's all, not him.
Mr. Nitiwo attributed Zaruk's failure to sign to a potential move for independence and warned supporting executives of potential party membership loss.
Don't allow him to use you for his own interest. But one thing I want to advise the party people. Tomorrow, the party constitution is very clear. If you are a party member and you go independent, you have left the party. If you are a party executive and you follow independent, campaign for the independent, you have also left the party.
So the race between Dominic Nitiwo, who is the incumbent member of parliament, and we don't know whether Zaruk will come on board or not because he's yet to sign the uncompleted nomination forms. But it looks like it's going to be interesting. It's an interesting race also there in the Bimbala constituency because the incumbent has stated categorically that Zaruk isn't his problem. What he has to do for the constituency is his problem, but he doesn't know whether Zaruk's problem is him. That is the MP for the area.
Well, I mean, it's interesting that the MP for the area, he's the Minister for Defense, Dominic Nitiwo, speaks the way he speaks. Last week, I heard him say that his major headache is not really about the primaries, but how to get the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, to win the presidential
2024 elections.
In the 2024 elections. And then he urged the executives of the party to allow Alhaji Zaruk to come on board, to come forth and contest him, and that he was going to use him as an example to show the NDC how he was going to whip them in the general elections.
Wow.
And I mean, if you're exuding so much confidence then obviously from where we sit as observers, you know what you are about. However, this is an election. And we saw supporters of Alhaji Zaruk attack the constituency office of the MPP in Bembela. So clearly, he also has a fan base.
Yes.
So you don't downplay the competition he is bringing and rule him out outright just like that. You get it? You may want to feel confident because he says that out of the about, I think, 128 delegates in the constituency, about 119 picked his form.
Wow.
That's what Dominic. So clearly, he's that confident of, surmounting this hurdle and moving on to the general elections. But like I'm saying, you have no idea what strategies, mechanisms, tools, machinations Alhaji Zaruk is also employing and deploying.
But delegates will make their decision on January 27, and I keep saying that we'll bring you all the actions happening. You are still watching CNR Extra here on Citi TV. Still to come. Dr. Kojo Afarijan backs 1992 Constitution review. Kindly stay with us. We're back with more stories.
Embark on an unforgettable road trip across 14 diverse and vibrant regions of Ghana in just 8 days on the Heritage Caravan 2024. Get ready to immerse yourself in the rich culture, breathtaking landscapes, and the warm heritage-laced hospitality Ghana has to offer. From the Greater Accra region to the Volta region, to the Eastern region, to the Bono region, Ahafo region, Bono East region, to the Upper East region, to the Northern region, to the Savannah region, to the Northeast region, to the Ashanti region, to the Western North region, the Western region, the Central region, and back to the Greater Accra region. The Heritage Caravan will last for 8 days from Sunday the 3rd of March to Sunday the 10th of March 2024. An expedition full of excitement, education, information, wonderful memories, and great bonding moments awaits you. Call 0205-973-973 to register for the Heritage Caravan 2024 now. This is a journey of a lifetime to discover Ghana. The Heritage Caravan 2024 is powered by Citi TV with support from 97.3 Citi FM. Terms and conditions apply.
You're welcome back. This is CNR Extra here on CCTV. You can join us with your thoughts, ambitions, and comments via WhatsApp line 02044470033. It's also conversational. You can join us on our Facebook page, that is Citi TV. Let's bring you some more stories. And the NDC has criticized President Nana Akufo-Addo for expressing disappointment at John Mahama's refusal to congratulate him on winning the 2020 general elections.
Stay with the NDC. The party has criticized President Akufo-Addo for expressing disappointment at John Mahama's refusal to congratulate him on winning the 2020 general elections. In his Constitution Day address, President Akufo-Addo highlighted the absence of a congratulatory message from the NDC's flag bearer. Meanwhile, however, National Chairman of the NDC, Johnson Esiodin Ketia, who supports Mahama's stance, accused President Akufo-Addo of resorting to violence for electoral success. Esiodin Ketia, during a news conference in Accra, alleged that the president is responsible for promoting violence to secure power.
President Akufo-Addo's visible disappointment with John Mahama's refusal to acknowledge the 2020 election result raises concerns about the potential tensions resurfacing within the two most popular parties in the country. In response, NDC's national chairman, Asiedu Nketia, criticizes Akufo-Addo for what he perceives as a violent approach to winning elections.
The dastardly murder of 8 Ghanaians to make Akufo-Addo president in 2020 must not be repeated in 2024. The blood of the murdered 8 shall remain a stain on the Akufo-Addo Bawumia's second-term record forever. Instead of President Akufo-Addo demanding congratulations from President John Dramani Mahama, as we are picking from the media, we suggest that he must listen to his predecessor when he says he's the only person who has a predecessor who will become his successor.
He further accused the president of neglecting efforts to address electoral-related violence.
It's unconscionable that 3 years after these tragic events, our president Nana Akufo-Addo has not uttered even a word of sympathy to the bereaved families. Ladies and gentlemen, Nana Akufo-Addo should rather be implementing the recommendations of the Commission of Inquiry, which he himself set up, that interrogated the actors and victims of the Ayawaso West Wogon by-election violence, and not be worried over congratulations from our flag bearer. We will not congratulate anybody who murders Ghanaians to secure power.
Additionally, Asiedu Nketia called on the Electoral Commission to ensure a free and fair election process, warning against any attempt to manipulate the outcome.
The officials serving in these institutions, i.e., the security, judiciary, and the Electoral Commission, must constantly be reminded of their oaths of office, which impose on them onerous responsibilities to secure and protect the interests, and not any other interest, the interests of Mother Ghana. That is what the oath they swore to take the office imposed on them. Nana Akufo-Addo must be reminded of his presidential oath and his oath of allegiance on the 7th of January 2017 and the repetition on 2021, which imposed on him specific duties and responsibilities to ensure that Ghana remains peaceful and in one piece.
And that is what is coming from the National Democratic Congress, the chairman of the National Democratic Congress, I nearly gave him Dr. Johnson Asiedu Nketia. And he has stated... Is he not a doctor?
Doctor of elections.
Yeah, of course. He's been in the space for a very long time. He was 17 years on the seat of the General Secretary before now moving on to become the national chairman of the party. And he has stated their stance for this 2024 elections that, well, they are not going to leave any stone unturned. And also the individuals who perpetrated some violence during the 2020 elections will be held accountable should the NDC win. They also made mention of something very important, that is the indelible ink that became very topical when the Electoral Commission made mention that they are facing off that particular activity or using the indelible ink to identify that, well, you voted or not. And also, the ending of the polls at 3 p.m., the NDC also raised some concerns about it that, well, they've not really bought into that idea and maybe the EC should rescind this decision.
Philip, for me, all this goes back to the decision of the NDC whether to return to IPAC or not. All these issues can be ironed out at that level. The NDC had genuine concerns regarding IPAC, saying or suggesting that when they go and they make recommendations or suggestions, the EC always comes with an entrenched position. And so they had no reason to even attend IPAC meetings anymore. The party has hinted that this year it will be returning to IPAC. And for me, I believe that is a step in the right direction. If they go back to the table, sit with the commission and, of course, the other parties, then they can iron out some of these issues. I mean, closing of poll, use or otherwise of indelible ink, challenges with biometric verification. I mean, they can deal with all this because whether we like it or not, we are in an era of technology. We can't go back to the same old way of doing things and do things the way we used to do them. Clearly, we have to advance. We need to make progress, but not leaving anyone behind. And that is the more reason why all stakeholders, all interested parties should sit and deliberate on the issues involved regarding the election, its transparency, its fairness, its being free, and of course, how easy it will be for you and I to be able to queue or not. Because with technology, hopefully we will not have to wake up at dawn to join queues, because we will want to go and vote early so that we can come and report on the election for Ghanaians to know about it. You understand? I feel holistically they need to sit and approach this well so they can deal with all the issues hiding here and there. The assembly election was a test of the waters. It didn't really go down well concerning the fact that the exercise had to be called off or suspended or postponed in certain areas. It really wasn't a good show for the EC. And I'm sure the EC would have done its homework and prepared properly towards the general election.
So maybe some consensus is needed, and like Nanatafor made mention of the various stakeholders or the parties that are supposed to be on IPAC should just go then iron out issues so that at the end of the 2024 elections, there wouldn't be issues with whether to accept the results or not. So let's still remain on election-related issues because the Office of the Chief Imam is urging Muslims and the youth to refrain from violence in this upcoming elections.
Now, the Office of the Chief Imam has urged Muslims and the youth to refrain from violence in the 2024 general elections, emphasizing its role in preserving the country's peace. Citi News' Daniel Sakite has more in this report, read by Kennedy Chumesi.
As Ghana stands as an oasis of peace amidst regional instability, calls for peaceful elections intensify with the upcoming 2024 elections. The National Chief Imam's Office, led by Sheikh Arimeyao Shaibu, joined the cause during an interview with Citi News. Sheikh Arimeyao Shaibu, on the sidelines of a thank you tour by MP Samuel Okujato Ablakwa, urged Muslims and the youth to abstain from violence during the elections, connecting this plea to the Chief Imam's support for the Akosombo Dam spillage victims.
I mean, this is the general advice, especially I would rather go to rather within the broader spectrum of the youth of the country, both within the Muslim community, within the Zongo community, and outside of the Zongo community, within local communities where sometimes you can find many of the young people who are sometimes used by politicians. That's the grassroots supporters who are used by the politicians and to foment trouble and sometimes create violence. Let's all abhor and eschew violence, because violence is detrimental to our peace, it's detrimental to our development. Through violence, we can quickly destroy the accomplishments of yesteryears. It takes just 1 minute through violence to destroy what we have suffered over the years to build. But that to rebuild will take us years. And I don't think that we want to do that. We want our youth to be more responsible because the future belongs to them. And they be mindful of the activities of any elderly person that pushes them into violence. Responsible elders must really guide and educate and encourage young people to behave more responsibly.
At the same event, Sheikh Usman Nuhu Sharubutu emphasized religious tolerance, urging Ghanaians to unite and be grateful for the peace the country enjoys.
This particular reference of the text it applies to people of Ghana. We Muslims and Christians and even other traditional worshippers, that we are all one people. In Ghana here, we are united. In fact, we are able to sit on the same bench. And then we must be thankful to God. And Allah is indicating to us. He told us that if he bestow his favors on you, and you must reflect very well that nations neighboring us. What is happening there? And they are killing themselves. And they are kidnapping people. But I look at Ghana, we are living in peace and harmony. We and all other ethnic groups in our diversities. Every group in the diversity. So therefore God has bestowed favor on us.
MP for North Tongue Samuel Kujato Ablakwa commended the chief imam.
And of course, peace is what we need before, during, and after the 2024 elections. Ghana has done it before, and definitely we can do it again. That is the caution coming from the national chief imam that, well, the youth, mostly the youth, people say that they are the ones being used to foment trouble when it comes to these kind of elections, and they should take you out of it to ensure that the right thing is done. You wouldn't want to avail yourself for a politician to use you to foment some trouble or some mayhem in a constituency that wouldn't be very, very okay. But now, what do you make of this? I think it's a step in the right direction that this caution is coming from the National Chief Imam.
We should be seeing more of such because, you see, a person of the caliber of the National Chief Imam carries a lot of weight. And so when he speaks, I mean, the impact should be felt. And so we should be seeing more of such throughout the year. It shouldn't end there. And if you know the National Chief Imam, he does this periodically, occasionally. I mean, people do call on him, whether to make some presentations during Ramadan or to thank him for a gesture or the other. And he always takes advantage of such visits to put out the message of peace. We should be seeing same from the Yana. We should be seeing same from the Asantehene. We should be seeing same from the Ochihene. We should be seeing same from people, I mean, prominent people in this country whose messages will really trickle down because really we are their subjects. You understand? So our religious leaders, our traditional leaders, and the politicians, once again, should be made to sign a pact, a peace accord that they would respect. It's not just putting pen to paper and on the D-Day do the typical blame game and then before we know there's an escalation of violence. Till date, people who lost their lives, their cases are yet to be concluded.
Yes.
But families have lost, I mean, potential breadwinners. Families have lost relatives. Nobody knows the future of these persons who were killed just because of electoral violence.
Just because someone has to be
in power. you get it?
Yes.
So I believe that, I mean, our religious leaders, our traditional leaders, the politicians themselves, I mean, even in our corporate spaces, we should begin spreading the message of peace throughout the entire country.
I'm sure that getting closer to this elections, that is the 2024 elections, certainly the peace message will be drummed home well, and people will get to know of it. But the former EC boss, that is Dr. Afarajan, has advocated that the 1992 Constitution review must be done.
From CPP Politics, former Electoral Commission Chairman Dr. Kwadwo Afarajan has supported calls for the review of the 1992 Constitution, emphasizing its crucial role in advancing the country's democratic journey. He expressed these sentiments during the One Ghana Movement's UPSA Law School 4th Constitution Day public lecture here in Accra. The following report has more details.
The Constitutional Day One Ghana Lecture Series is a collaborative initiative by One Ghana Movement and the UPSA Law School aimed at promoting civic engagement, enhancing governance accountability, the rule of law, and human rights. The lectures critically assess aspects of the 1992 Constitution, contributing to charting a developmental path for the country. Addressing this year's theme, Reflection on Our Democracy, the Constitution, Elections and the Judiciary, a former chairman of the Electoral Commission, Dr. Kojo Afarijan, voiced concerns about certain aspects of the current Constitution. He expressed support for its review, highlighting the importance of maintaining the independence and separation of powers between the executive and the legislature. Dr. Afarijan proposed a system where ministers are not appointed from Parliament, allowing legislators to effectively check the executive.
In my view, with about half of ministers plus some of the deputy ministers drawn from Parliament, the legislature cannot effectively check the executive. Cabinet decisions are binding on ministers and deputy ministers, and they must be defended by them, including in Parliament. I think that a system where ministers and their deputies are drawn from outside Parliament will be better suited to holding the executive in check.
He suggested the implementation of periodic reports by the Council of State on advice given to the executive.
Apart from the president, the council has power to advise every public institution in Ghana. Based on my own experience at the Electoral Commission, I can say that the council takes briefings from public institutions and gives them advice in turn. I think it will help the public to gauge the council's impact if periodically it issues a report indicating what advice it has given to which institution.
Advocating for empowered district assemblies with real power and adequate resources, he also called for the election of MMDCs and the involvement of political parties in the election of assembly members. Former Attorney General Joe Gate and former Attorney General Maretta Brew both offered agreements and disagreements on key issues in the lecture. They proposed various opinions on the democratic process in the country.
I agree. We must see how we will fund assembly members for them to perform their duties. But all said, and also, before I forget, any review of the local governance system should look at the role of the chiefs in the governance at the local level. Indeed, there are studies that show that about 60% of the populace listen to their chiefs more than anybody else.
Changes to the electoral process are bound to happen, but these should prioritize inclusivity, protecting the right to vote, accessibility to the voting process, transparency, and fairness in counting the votes and the declarations. Now, how do these two decisions of the Electoral Commission achieve these objectives? How do they even arrive at this decision? Was it at IPAC? Was it with the political parties?
The review of the 1992 Constitution, well, this has been on the table for a very long time. Stakeholders have made mention of that it has to be reviewed. Now, the former EC boss, Dr. Afarijan, has also made some comments in there that this particular Constitution has to be reviewed. Now, he made mention of the fact that the system that allows that MPs be moved to become ministers, that should be looked at so that we wouldn't be having MPs be ministers. I spoke to the Africa Center for Parliamentary Affairs Executive Director, Dr. Rashid Rahman, who said that most of the people who go to Parliament go there just to secure themselves to be ministers in this particular country. So it tells you that there is a sign of interest there. He also made mention of the funding of the Electoral Commission to ensure that the Electoral Commission executes its job well for the various elections, and among other things that were said at this particular lecture. Very insightful thing that is also on citynewsroom.com. You can go there and watch the entire lecture a number of things were said there. But the issue right now is the review of the 1992 Constitution that these stakeholders are asking for, especially the EC boss.
Yeah, it's interesting because arguments can be made for and against. You get it. But I mean, a person with the type of knowledge Dr. Kwadwo Afarajan sits on, if he's making this call, it's worth looking into and, of course, giving it the necessary attention it deserves. For instance, the issue of MPs becoming ministers.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, it takes away from one responsibility. When they only show up in parliament to come and do the yeah and the no when it is in their favor. You understand? But as a minister, you have work to do. Listen, go to any ministry now from 6 a.m. People are lining up because people are looking for different opportunities. Take health ministry, for example. Drugs need to be procured, health infrastructure, meetings have to be done. I mean, it takes away from your work as an MP. So if there should be a review, I think there's a step in the right direction.
So I think that should be looked at, the 1992 Constitution. Things in there that I think could be, can be reviewed, should be reviewed. Let's move away from this story and let's take it to the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. The managing director of Citi FM and Citi TV and other alumni have charged the students there to be better people in the space.
Citi FM and Citi TV, Samuel Atamensa, has underscored the importance of students building strong relationships in school to unlock opportunities. Addressing Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology students, he emphasized the need for hard work, self-investment, and sacrifice. For more insights, Citi News Middle Belt Bureau Chief Edward Opomafo provides a detailed report.
Tertiary institutions play a pivotal role in shaping young adults' lives. Establishing a solid foundation and mindset during university enrollment is crucial. Managing Director of Citi FM and Citi TV, Samuel Atamensa, highlights the significance of fostering meaningful relationships while in school.
Whilst you are here, and if you are here and you think that you can pass through, get my first class, I don't want to talk to anybody, I pity you. You have to create relationships. I'm telling you, one day, remember the four of us seated here. You have to create relationships because you will never get that opportunity ever again. I have never ever seen nor read anywhere that somebody has been awarded for oversleeping. A little bit of sleep, a little bit of slumber. And what? And your poverty will come like an armed man. This is from scripture. Okay? Selflessness. And the gentleman said that, what price do you have to pay? And I mean, no, I'm not going to use the same reference. It's not about price. It's about the degree of sacrifice.
Mr. Samuel Atamensa, a distinguished KNUST alumnus, delivered this message at the Nyan Support Dialogue Series alongside other university alumni. The events aim to instill the right mindset in students. Notable figures such as actress Nikki Samonas, Professor Dorothy Yaboamenu, Director of Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research, and Elliot Ejari, a publisher, also emphasized the importance of cultivating the right mindset for future success.
I also learned how to take care of children as part of the Child Evangelism Fellowship that I joined. And I must say that these things that I did, and very importantly, our lecturers introduced us to group studies. And so early within the start of our course, I have to find friends that we sort of align and form study groups. For me, this is very crucial because the work that I'm doing as a biomedical researcher, you can't work on your own. You have to work as a group. You need to learn team bonding.
Add that you make sure that you keep your relationship with God intact. Do not forget where you come from. He lives in you, you live in him. Whatever you do, you are him and he's you because he created you. So in everything you're doing, look at your fellow man as part of you because you are him and he is you.
it's been mentioned, don't lose your values. In this fast-changing world, we're beginning to realize that there are some values that never change. They don't change. Compassion, integrity, respect for others. These are timeless values.
And there are a lot of opportunities out there as students, and you should ensure that you network, you build networking, because most people have gotten bigger opportunities because they've been able to network themselves. The society has moved beyond who you know, now is who knows you.
Philip, just one sentence.
Yes.
Your network
is your net worth.
It's your currency.
It's a currency. Oh, that's nice. I think I have to post it. Your network is your currency. That is. So if you have a good network, it's good. Tell whether you have a Ghana cedi or a dollar or euro. Or
whether it's depreciated or it's appreciated.
This is how we end today's edition of CNR Extra here on Citi. My name is Philip Nilati. I did this with Nana Tuvo. Many thanks for your time. Happy New Year, and keep watching Citi TV.